as journalists. Truth. Search for truth. Do you like to search for truth? No. To be honest, me, I don't like to search for truth. Why? Because I also have secrets. And I don't want anybody to know. But if I am going to be a public servant, I know that I have to be exposed. And then if anybody of you exposes them, I cannot complain because that was my choice. I chose to do this job. And it is your right to know what I do. It is your right to know how I behave. It is your right to know if I am more than honest. It is your right to know if I have integrity. It is your right. I cannot complain about that. I cannot come out and say, hey, no, that's private. You don't deserve to know this. No. Because if you are a public servant, you have a public life. You want to have a private life? As I said before, go and work in a bank. Nobody's going to mess around with you. Nobody. Yes. Because then you have a private life. You want to be a public servant, so you are open. Open to what? To the curiosity of all of you. So begin using your Snapchat and Instagram and everything, not just to be showing your beautiful faces and your nice bodies, also to be showing truth. That is the important thing. So that's the first of the commandments, truth. And that's the first thing I wanted to talk to you about, truth. That is your compromise. You must compromise with truth now, because that is the basic part, the roots, the hardcore of your career. Journalism doesn't exist if there is no truth to be searched. One thing. Now the second part that I was going to talk about. Constructivism. What is constructivism? Does anybody know what constructivism is? Have you ever heard about that word? Constructivism. Yes, somebody? A volunteer? Oh, the volunteer didn't come. Oh. Well, the volunteer didn't come, but maybe somebody wants to answer something. Any idea? What is constructivism? Does anybody have an idea of what it is? Doesn't it sound like something to you, constructivism? No? No? Constructivism is a theory. As a matter of fact, it's a psychological theory, but we diplomats use it also as a theory of international relations. Constructivism says that reality does not really exist as it is. We build our own realities according to what we think. For example, I can stand up here in front of you and I can think, oh my God, I am such a handsome man. And if I believe that, that is going to be my reality. You might not think the same thing I do, but for me, it's real, and I live as if it were real, because I created my own reality. The same thing happens to everything. Think about your country, Ghana. How do you see Ghana? Is it a superpower? Is it an underdeveloped country? Is it a third world African country? You know, whatever you think is going to become the reality of your country. If you think that Ghana is a beggar, Ghana is going to be a beggar. If you think that Ghana is a superpower, Ghana is going to be a superpower, because everything is up to you, what you think, what you believe, and that is going to become a reality for you. And at the end of the day, whose lives are you living? Aren't you living your own, or you're living somebody else's life? No, you're living yours, right? Create something nice for you. And how do you help people create that? How? Helping them change the mindset. Some minutes ago we were talking, yes, here with my friend, and we were talking about poverty, it's true. And what we were saying during that conversation is that the United Nations made a really interesting study about 4 years ago, and they presented some documentation regarding poverty, the study of poverty. Because of these goals of the new millennium and all these things that we always talk about, right? And the question was, what is poverty? Everybody began to answer immediately. Poverty is when you cannot satisfy your needs, when you feel hunger, when you have nowhere to sleep, when you have nothing to wear. So you are poor. So it means if poverty would be like that, then poverty could be solved if I give you food, if I give you clothes, and I give you a place to sleep, right? Now tell me, for the past 200 years in the case of my government, because my country has 201 years of independence already this year. For the past 200 years in my country, we have been doing that. Giving the poor food, clothes, and places to live. Did we solve poverty? We didn't solve poverty. But why? If poverty is when you don't have anything to eat and I give you food, you shouldn't be poor anymore because I already solved the problem, right? So it means that poverty is not that. Poverty doesn't mean that you have nothing to eat. Poverty doesn't mean that you have nothing to wear or nowhere to sleep in. So what is poverty? And that's where the United Nations came and they made this whole investigation with a lot of professionals and these incredible thinkers that one day are going to win a Nobel Prize and we will always remember their names, but unfortunately I forgot them. Well, but don't worry, you will remember them. It's because I'm getting old. What is poverty? A state of mind, a mindset. Why? Because you create your own reality. Let me give you an example. And you can try, huh? This is something that you can experience yourselves. If one day you are walking around the street and you find one of these people that are begging for money, that are regular beggars, and you tell them, hey, come here. You know what? I am going to give you a job. You're going to come to my house and you're going to clean my house every day. I'm going to pay you a salary monthly. You know what a person is going to say? He's going to say no. Why? Because I'm poor. And as I am poor, I cannot work. Because if I have a work, if I have a job, I'm not poor anymore. And because I am poor, I am your responsibility. So you have to give me money. So the only thing I have to do is victimize myself. I have to play victim, so you give me. Because the victims always win. I'm a victim, poor of you. Haven't you seen that? Come on, you gentlemen. You can relate to that. As a matter of fact, I did this once, and it worked. Huh? When you want to be with a girl that is the nicest girl of the class, and she doesn't even want to look at you, what happens if you victimize yourself? And you say, please, I'm going to die if you do that. The girl is going to feel pity of you, and she's going to say, okay, well, let's try, okay. Right? What are you doing? Playing victim. Why? Because victims always win. Failure? Does anybody say success? No. That's false. Who is going to teach you to play tennis? The national champion of tennis or the failure of tennis? Huh? Who's going to teach you? The champion of tennis. So where do you learn more? From success or from failure? From success. But our mindset is going to failure all the time. If you continue doing that, what are you going to learn? Failure, failure, failure. Were you born to do that? Come on. Change that mindset. We need to make a change, and you have to do it now. Because if you don't change it now that you are young, you're going to get my age, and you are going to continue believing all these crazy things that somebody put in our heads. And it's a lie. You cannot grow up believing that you are going to learn more from failure. It's a lie. You want to learn, look at somebody successful. Follow him. You want to be like him? Go and ask. What did you do to do what you do? What did you do to get what you have? You want a beautiful wife. You go to a man that has a beautiful wife and ask him, what did you do to get such a woman? I want one like that too. Yeah, because sometimes we don't know. And it's okay not to know. But what it is not okay is to keep on not knowing, to live in ignorance. That is not okay. If I don't know something, what should I do? Go and investigate. Go and find out. Go and ask. Right? I see somebody with a beautiful car. So instead of passing with my key like, horrible, I hate you because you have a car and I don't. No. Isn't it better to go and say, hey, what did you do to have that car? I want to have a car like that too. Tell me. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think the person is going to spit on you or something? No. But you are going to learn something. And that something you are going to learn is going to be from success. You are going to learn from success. And what do you learn from success? You learn to be successful. What do you learn from failure? To fail, of course. You see, those mindsets, those are things that we need to begin changing. And how do we change them? The same way that they were put in our minds. How were all these mindsets were put in our minds? By these platforms. You watch something on Facebook, on Instagram, on TV, on wherever, and what happens? Oh, it's the truth. You see that? It's a window. If you see a TV, the TV is a window. And we have faith in that window. Whatever appears there, for us is truth. Have you ever thought that when President Akufo-Addo appears on the TV screen, maybe he's not President Akufo-Addo? Maybe President Akufo-Addo is white? Maybe. But no, you never question that. Because the image you see on TV is true, and you believe it, and you keep it as true. And it goes inside your mind, and it's the truth forever. You are never going to question it. You see how powerful this stuff is? It shows us something, and we believe it. For us, it becomes the truth. For us, it becomes our reality. Constructivism again. So you have to use that powerful weapon because it's in your hands. It's part of your profession to change this mindset, to teach all your generation and the future generations to come to stop believing in these things that don't work. As I already told you, for 200 years in my country we have been trying to do things. Did they work? No. So how can you expect different results if you keep on doing the same things? You want to have different results, so you have to do different things, right? And you are in the time of experimentation. And this is the moment in which you need to get more new experiences and let people know the result of your new experiences using all these platforms. Because you know how to use them. It's part of you now. And in your case, in your specific case, it's not just part of you. It is your career. It is your work. It's the way you are going to live. It's what you're going to live on. So use them. You see the huge responsibility you have in your hands? You have the responsibility not just to showing the truth. You have the responsibility of the development, not just of your country. You have the responsibility of the development of the world. The creation of a new world, the creation of a new reality depends on you. It's up to you. Just to you. I am going to tell you a final story because I told so many stories that some of you are already falling asleep. You know, I'm a good storyteller, right? Because you're sleeping. There was this guy that was an incredibly wise man, right? He was very wise. He used to give conference and showing and sharing all the experiences and the huge knowledge he had. And as usual, there are people which are very envious, right? You know, enviness is all over the world. So these envious people, one of these days, they got together and they said, hey, this guy is always trying to show that he's so wise, he's so important. You know what? We have to do something to destroy him. Okay, but what do we do? Next time he's giving these speeches, you know, you are going to ask him a question that is going to be so difficult that he's not going to be able to answer. Okay, good idea. But what do I ask? I said, look, the next time you take a small bird in your hands, small bird. And when he's talking, you are going to raise your hand and ask him, hey, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Tell me, what do I have in my hands? Life or death? If he says life, you twist the neck of the bird and say, no, it's not true. Look, it's already dead. And if he says death, you just open your hands and the bird is going to come out and fly. So whatever he's going to answer, he's going to be mistaken. Perfect? Perfect. So they went to do that. And this wise man was in front of 3,000 people giving an incredible speech, and suddenly this guy raised his hand and said, "Excuse me, you great master, you that know everything. What do I have between my hands? Life or death?" This guy looks at him. He had an intuition, and he answered, "You have in your hands whatever you want to have in your hands. You have the power over life and death." And that is something that you have now. Today, in your hands, you have whatever you want to have in your hands. You have the power over life and death. How are you going to use your hands? Depend on you. It's your choice. Choose wisely. Because from the choice you are going to make today is going to depend the future of Ghana, the future of Africa, and the future of the world. Thank you very much.
A louder applause for His Excellency. Oh, standing ovation for His Excellency, the Peruvian ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Abdel Antonio Cardenas Tupia. Hey, I hope I got that right. All right, thank you. You may take your seats. Thank you. Now, time for questions. If you have any question for His Excellency, it's now time for you to ask them. Kindly come forward and then. Yeah. So, is there any question for him? Okay, please come. This is too tall for you. Don't worry, come for this. Yeah.
Okay, I'm American Isaac. And thank you very much for the interest and how you narrate the statement. But I have a question or something which I want you to massage it for me. And we live in the current world where most of individuals live in a situation where people are demonizing them. And most people demand some people who have a good heart, who want them to reveal the truth, especially like a journalist. Those people are coming. You see that they can start in the good way, good manner. But in the process of their working, you can see that maybe a minister case pop up, and maybe the case is in his hand, and they have given him money instead of him to tell the truth, for him to reveal the truth, or for him to do follow-up so that the case will be in the perfect situation. Then, because of the money, you can see that you stop following or pursuing the case. So this issue, how are we going to stop in our current world now?
All right, thank you very much. Yes, any other question? Yes, please come.
Thank you so much, sir. My name is Moses Ebu. Sorry, my question might somehow be strict, but sir, I would like to ask, when you talk about the truth as a journalist, and if you want to be a public person, you have to be transparent. But the question is, are there really truthful journalists in Africa? Are there really truthful journalists? And the upcoming journalists, what are we going to do to break out of this? Because whereby there are many situations happening in Africa, in different countries, whereby the innocent people are being deprived of their right. You see the terrorism everywhere. The innocent protesters are being shot. But you don't see the news in, for example, the CNN will not post it. And it will not be shown anywhere. Even the journalists who are trying their best to make sure they bring it, then somehow social media is being regulated. All their content will be brought down. The Instagram will bring their content down because the government said it is not real. And you talk about whatever you see on the TV, maybe you see the president.
Keep it snappy.
Okay, and you said it is truth. But there is a case whereby a lot of things happens here. For example, in Nigeria, There come a case of NSAS protest where the innocent one was shot. But when the video came out, the journalists tried their best to bring out the videos. The government said they are Photoshop. And the CNN believed that. So immediately their content were broken down. What do we do to break out of this? For upcoming journalists, how do we come out of this? Or is it going to continue like that when we are talking about the truth? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Final question for this session. Yeah, I mean, this round of questions, and then we'll have another set.
To add to what my brother said, even in our government, in our country, there's no transparency. Whenever you question, you are either denied or you are not answered. Secondly, when you try to find your way out, you only end up endangering your life. As we, the journalists, how do we improve upon this? As we all know, building reality is how we think. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ambassador, questions a bit muffled. I don't know whether you got them very well.
Thank you. Well, first of all, as you can imagine, I cannot speak about the reality of any other country but mine, right? So I am going to excuse myself to speak about the reality of any other brother country, whether it is Ghana or Nigeria or any other one, too close to this part. So, but what I can tell you is exactly what I already told you some time ago. You know, the only way of changing reality is changing what? What were we talking about some minutes ago? Mindset. So you have to begin changing your own mindset. We were raised in fear. Look, let me give you an example. I don't know if you have heard about the story of Pinocchio. Did you hear the story of Pinocchio? Who was Pinocchio? It was this little doll, right, made of wood, that every time he tells a lie, his nose grows, right? Okay, when we are children, our parents teach you not to lie with a lie. Because they tell you, don't tell a lie because your nose gonna grow. Your nose gonna grow? No, it's a lie. So they are teaching us not to lie with a lie. You see? You see how twisted our mindset is? That is the reason why you want to change things, you have to change your mindset first. And what is the first thing you have to do to change your mindset? To change this fear we have for everything. Because we are always afraid of power. And we always give this assumption that powerful people are like Superman. They can do whatever, and if you shoot them, bullets are going to come out, you know, because they are made of iron. No, that's not true. We all are human beings. That's the first thing we have to accept. And we all must behave like human beings, and we all deserve the same respect as human beings. Doesn't matter if you are up, down, if you are short, tall, if you are black or white, or you are fat, or you are thin. Doesn't matter. You're a human being. So that's the first mindset we have to begin changing. We have to stop living in fear. Now, danger is real. Yes, danger is real. But just like I said, when you are a public servant, you know what you are getting into. You know that as a public servant, you cannot pretend to have a private life. You know that. So if you are a journalist, you also know what you are getting into. You know you can die. You know it. You don't want to die? Do something else, my friend. You know, study mathematics and become a teacher. It's going to be okay. You know, do something else. You know, do something, go and work in a bank, or, you know, live a happy life. Be a farmer. You want to be a journalist, you know what you're getting into. And if you are too afraid to get into that, so choose something else. Because unfortunately, that is the only way in which we are going to change reality. Fighting. You see something you don't like, you fight against it. Look, around 70 years ago in the United States, there were a group of black people that fought to the death to give the black community the rights that they have now. They can vote, they can be elected, they can be senators, they can be presidents of the United States, the most powerful country of the world. Did it come free? No. There were a group of black people that fought to that, and some of them died. Some of them died. This guy who said, I have a dream, you remember? He had a dream and now his dream came true. Why did his dream come true? Because he died for it. But reality was changed because of that. If he had been afraid, this wouldn't have happened. If he had been afraid of dying, if he had been afraid of being injured, we wouldn't have the reality we have now. It was because even though he was afraid, he did it. He went against the power. He made a protest, and he died. Now what we have? Now we have a different reality when we talk about the black community in the United States. Didn't we have a black president? Barack Obama wasn't the president of the United States of America. He was. And was he a bad president? No, he's considered a great president. Much better. Oh, no, I'm talking to
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next question was about how do you portray truth, especially in the international media, about Africa?
Well, it's not just about Africa, my friends. It's about the entire planet. We cannot, the first thing you have to do when it comes to talking about truth is accept reality. Look, how do drunk people get healed from being drunk? The first thing they have to do is to accept they are drunk. But when you talk to a drunk person, the person who has this condition, who has this problem, that person is going to tell you, no, I am not drunk. I am not. You know, I control it. I drink from time to time. Only weekends. Only weekends. But all the rest of the week, I'm okay. I'm okay. Why? He is into denial. And we all, the whole planet is into denial when it comes to reality. Because just like my friend told me yesterday when I was talking to her, she said, reality hurts. We don't like it. It's true. And when reality hurts and you don't like it, what happens? You get into denial. Right? You go and you say, for example, I fell in love with this lady and say, hey, I love you. And she says, I don't love you, sorry. I don't like you. What do I do? In order not to suffer, I get into denial. I said, no, she likes me, but she's playing hard to get. You see? I'm denying reality. We cannot do that. We cannot change things denying reality. We have to accept it. Once we accept it, we can find ways of changing it. Now, these ways of changing it cannot be conventional and traditional. They have to be innovative. You need to innovate. You need to think outside of the box. Because if you think in a traditional way, you are never going to change anything. You want to have different results, you cannot keep on doing the same things. If you do the same thing, the result is going to be the same, right? You want to have a different result, you have to do something different. All right. Now, what you have to do, it's up to you.
Thank you. Then final question was, how do you ensure that the media promotes transparency when their lives are endangered?
Well, that is a very difficult question, right? Because unfortunately the answer is in you, not in me. As the only thing I can say is I can refer to the example I just gave about how all the black community gained his rights in the United States of America, right? It's not that their lives were in danger, they died. So sometimes it's what we have come to do to the world. You know, you all have to answer a question, and it's, what am I doing here? Why are you here in this planet? What are you doing in this life? Some of us, we came to die. Yeah.
Well,
and you know, you fulfill your purpose when you do.
All right. Thank you very much. A loud applause for him. Okay. Final set of questions for him. Final set of questions. If you have a question, let me see your hand. All right. 2 people. Okay, that's fine. So please come forward. Let's take yours.
My question was answered. I am ready. I'm ready to die.
Okay.
I think you also
We'll
ready,
bury
right?
you.
We are all ready. But what about the society? Some of them don't want the truth. They even like it. So how do we do about those, the society?
All right. I think you're asking philosophical questions.
Yeah, that's very philosophical. But don't forget something. Society is an abstract construction. Society is not something which is separated from us. It's not that you are society and I'm not. You know, I am a diplomat, you are society. Or I am a journalist, you are society. No, it doesn't work like that. We all are society. Society is the group of people living together and having social interactions. To that group of social interactions in sociology is what you call society. Now, how the social interactions are, it depends on different things, patterns, culture, etc., etc., etc. But all those things, on the basis, on the hardcore, what they have is a mindset. So you are a part of society. It's not that I am willing to die and society doesn't want to accept my truth. No, you are part of society. So that society and you are one thing. The point is that since you are a part of society, you can generate this movement inside society in order to not just accept the truth, but also see it as something good. Look, most of the time, it's very hard to accept the truth, especially when it's something we don't like. Of course. Who likes to accept truth that we don't like? Who likes to accept, for example, the time I had to face the reality that I wasn't 6 feet tall, it was really hurtful. But unfortunately, it was the truth. I couldn't make any, even though I tried to stand on tall places, you know, to feel taller, but I wasn't tall. Now, do you think it was something nice for me to accept it? That I was laughing and say, yeah, I'm sure, happy me. No, it wasn't. But you know what? You accept that and you work with what you have. Yeah. And then you come out and you say, if you're going to love me, you're going to love me the way I am, you know. Short, black, whatever. I'm not going to do something else to change myself for you to like me or for you to accept me. The same thing happens to truth. Truth is one thing. We have to accept it. Now, accepting that is a whole process. That is a process that is called maturity. You get mature once you begin accepting truth.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. Final question? Yeah, for him. Just final question for now.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Underwood. My question is, His Excellency, we are all here as a journalist, and we have come to listen to you, and we really do appreciate that. Here we are talking about bringing out the truth. The truth is there. Government, we the society, we are all here. I want to know, importantly, how ready are you as a president, as the executive system of government, the judiciary, how ready are you to protect us, we the journalists, when we go out there and bring out the truth? Because it is out there in the country right now. And even when we bring out the truth, they are not willing to support us. They are not willing to give us the push-up that we need as a journalist, and then we bring out whatever is it. The second thing is, we're talking about confidentiality right now. Confidentiality. You have an information which is very vital to the society. They need to know. Yet I go out and I bring it. You've made it look like it's a confidential thing. When I bring it out to the general public, you, as an executive system of government, are you going to take the confidentiality part, or you are going to say that because I'm a journalist, I bring out the truth, I'm going to go with you? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Well, that is something really hard to answer. Because, look, the first thing is that I don't think that you have to, you need the support of somebody else to do your job, you know. If that's the case, then you have to rethink your life, because it's important for you to do what is necessary to be done and what is the right thing, even though nobody else believes in you, right? That is something that comes with integrity. Now, I never said that this was easy. I didn't say so. I don't know, maybe it sounded easy when I spoke about it, right? But I never said it was easy. No, it's something really hard. Of course it is difficult. And the executive, I mean, the people in power in general, you are, as people in power, we are going to try to protect ourselves. But then you have the, I think there is a fundamental question that I didn't make, because this is not a political science class. But if we were studying political sciences, you know, I remember when I was a student many years ago, when I was your age, you know, one of my lecturers made us a question that for us at the moment was very difficult to answer. He asked, what is the function of the state? I mean, what is the state good for? Why do states exist? Why do we need a state? What is the state's job? What? And then we began to answer, right? Well, to give benefits, no, because the state doesn't give any. To give jobs, no, the state doesn't give any. To give health, well, the health of the state, you know how it is, right? To give education, the education of the state is also, my God. So at the end, it was that the state is useless. And when I found out that, I said, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job because I'm working for something that is not, it's absolutely useless. Oh my God, this is terrible. But no, the state is here only to give us security. That is the only function, the only job of the state is for you to feel safe. That's all. Now, how am I going to make you how am I going to make you safe? How am I going to ensure your security when you are going against me? That is a mature state. Let's not forget what one of these amazing French philosophers said once, right? Voltaire. Voltaire said, I don't agree with what you are saying, but I would die to be able and to ensure that you are able to say it. That is maturity. And that is a mature state. Now, do we have mature states now? No. But can we change them? Yes. Because one day you are going to be the rulers. One day one of you might be the president. So it's your job to ensure that when your time comes, you act as a mature person. Even though you come against me, I'm still going to protect you because that's my job. Oh, but you're coming against me. Yes, but I'm doing my job. I'm fulfilling my job. I know you are going to appreciate it too. Because we both are working for the same thing, a greater world. You see, everything's a matter of maturity. And we don't have it, yes, we don't, but we don't have it yet. We will. It's all up to you. And what was the second part of the question that I forgot it?
I've also just forgot it.
Well, it was okay? A confidentiality.
Okay.
Yes. Well, regarding confidentiality, there is something that I have to say, of course, as a part of the state. There are some things, some kind of information which is very critical inside a state. Those are the secrets of the state. Okay? Why is it very critical? Because the national security depends on that. Did any of you watch Money Heist, the series Money Heist that was in Netflix? Did you watch it? Did any watch it? Yes, you watch it? No? Did you watch it? No? Nobody watched it? Well, it's a series about a group of people that got into the Bank of Spain, and they stole all the gold of the Bank of Spain. They stole all the reserves in gold. They stole it all. Once all the gold was stolen, the economy of Spain was dropped to the ground completely. It was finished. The state was broke. It was going to be declared an unstable state and disappear as a state. But then they said, oh no, we are returning the gold. So they returned the gold, but it wasn't the gold. It was cans of tuna that were painted in gold. So it wasn't gold for real. The government knew that it wasn't gold, but it was a secret. Why? Because if they come out to say, no, we don't have that gold, we lost it, the state was going to be disappear. So you cannot allow that. So you have to keep it a secret and say, oh yes, we have the gold, it's a lie. But unfortunately, that is something that has to do with the national security, because you cannot allow the state to disappear. Because if the state disappears, all the people are going to starve. So you cannot allow that to happen. When you are talking about a case like that, confidentiality is something really important. That is why the state must be very responsible to give that treatment of confidentiality to some critical information. But it's got to be responsible. And of course, we are talking about very mature states, right? It's not about, I am going to make confidential that I have a lover. No, that's not confidentiality, right? It's something confidential that can be, can threaten the national security. Then it is confidential. Then I have to keep it a secret. And then you have to respect it. Because if you don't, you are going to create a real problem. You can even disappear the state. In those cases, yes, confidentiality is that clause that we all must respect because we all love our countries and we all want our countries to be good, to develop and to be okay, even if it's with a lie, right? So I think that that is the issue about confidentiality.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ambassador. Oh, a loud applause for Ambassador. All right, set. Let's move this now. All right, thank you very much. We will now have another session, and this session is going to be a panel discussion. But before then, let me just acknowledge the schools, the media students that are here. Do we have Classic Multimedia Institute? Yeah. Oh, let me hear from you. Yeah. All right. Do we have Institute of Business Management and Journalism here? Kumasi, are you here? Let me hear from you. Are you here? All right, good. Do we have some students from Heritage Christian College here? Let me hear from you. All right, good. Thank you. Now, the Ghana Union of Professional Students, GAPS, has donated some drinks, and we are very grateful to them for such a gesture. You may now distribute to our participants. This program is also live on Truth TV. Truth TV. It's owned by the university, Heritage Christian University College, and you can catch us on Multi-TV and on our social media, just Truth TV Ghana. Truth TV Ghana. Go to YouTube right now. You see the live stream of the program, and then also our Facebook page, Truth TV Ghana. Now, I would like to invite some of our media practitioners who are here to inspire us, who are here to also help us to understand some of the dynamics of the media profession. And I have here the only lady among them, Nanaya Kunedu, presenter, Peace FM. Nanaya Kunedu. I'm so excited to see her for the first time. Thank you so much for always making the airwaves so powerful with your wonderful presentation. Are you excited to see her? All right, good. We also have the programs manager of Asempa FM, Mr. Philip Osei Bonsu. Wow. I've been listening to his program, and today I'm so happy to see him for the first time. Philip, welcome. Great. Then also we have the founder of Afrimas Network, and he also works with MX24 TV, Sir Raymond Smith. Sir Raymond Smith. Wow, welcome. A media guru. And then I understand Manasseh will join us via Zoom. Is he on? Okay, so we will start, and then if he's connected, we will also interact with him. So these are the panelists who will help us to understand more about what we are discussing today. And the theme is reshaping tomorrow's media practitioner to be industry-ready, digitally inclined, development-oriented, and globally relevant. It's a very long one. I can see, I think Manasseh is on. Hello, Manasseh. Okay, when he's on, please draw my attention. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Good. Since we are doing this for media students primarily, would like to hear a bit about your journeys into the media. So maybe let's start from the only lady. How did you enter the media landscape?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Good afternoon, students.
Maybe because our microphones are on.
It's a great privilege to be here among students. My journey into the media space, it started some 23 years ago. Yes. And by perseverance, knowing what I want, being in my lane, being very focused, I'm here. I started my media journey when I was a bit younger. Currently, many of you here won't do what I did to get where I am today. The reason is, in our newsrooms, in our media entities these days, it's very difficult for you to see an upcoming media person, a student, obeying simple instructions and working diligently. So, many of you here may not fit into the real media establishment. The real work may not fit in as some of us have been able to. I started a journey in a village.
In a village?
Yes.
Wow, where was that?
I was a typical Kumasi girl, born and bred in the city, Kumasi. And then, because I wanted to be in the media, and I wasn't getting the opportunity on major stations then in Kumasi because I had no working experience, I chose to start the journey from a smaller town. That's why I say a village. It's not just a village, but for a Kumasi girl moving backwards to Brekum, then that is what you will see. I worked there for almost 2 years, and then I went to Kumasi, and 2 years serving in Kumasi, I came back. I came to Accra, where I've been working for the past 19 years. So that's a brief about what my journey has been. Thank you.
Wow, that was an inspiring one. Thank you. Philip, how did you enter the media landscape?
Thank you. So I'm happy to be here. Good afternoon. Oh, good afternoon. Great. So I began the journey as a national service personnel at Spark FM in Dunkwa, Onofin. And I remember after national service, I moved to Takrade, where I joined Sky FM. So from Sky, I went to the UK, just came back, joined ECG as the head of public relations Western region, and then from there I moved to the media group, and I've been with 2018. Yeah.
Good. Yep. Sir Raymond, tell us about your entry into the media space.
So the two distinguished lady and a gentleman sitting here, what they produce on radio and on TV, I take up the content and find businesses that will buy the content, and then we will both be paid. So I've worked in the area of sales and marketing in most media houses in Ghana. So I would say that multimedia gave me the opportunity to start my sales journey. I had an opportunity just about 15 years ago, served in different roles at Joy FM, and then within our digital media units as a sales manager. So my journey actually started on the street, trying to survive in Accra and finding opportunities, selling the audio recordings of Dr. Menso Tabel many years ago and connecting with businesses in Accra. And then one day, one of my senior pastors gave me a call that there's somebody at Joy FM. I should connect with the person. He has spoken with him. He may offer me an opportunity. And here I am. There are two things I'll tell you on this journey. The level of interest and appreciation. I had so much interest in Joy FM that I became the ardent listener of Joy FM. So when the opportunity came to work at Joy FM, it was a great opportunity. But the interest is the opportunity given to me. Because at that time, I did not even qualify. But I made myself available to serve, to learn, and develop myself in the area of sales. And so that gave me the opportunity to learn and work with many media houses. I work with Star FM, work with Live FM, work with Class Media Group, work with Tonaton.com. But serving at the background of finding money for these institutions. So that's been my role.
Awesome. Give it up for him too. Is Manasseh on now? Hello, Manasseh, can you hear me? Hello, Manasseh? All right, he's still being connected. And so when you get through to him, please let me know. Right, so let me ask you about training. Since they are still students, did you actually have formal media training? Or how did you get trained to become what you are today? From Nanaya Konedu.
Initially, formally, I wasn't trained. I entered into the media space, then Chris FM in Brekum, with a little background in journalism. I'm saying a little because everything I have learned was self-made. So when I went to Brekum initially, I went as a broadcaster, not a journalist. It was there and then that I started to learn journalism, study journalism formally. So after my diploma, then we are doing diploma. I've seen IBMJ students here. It was a diploma. It was afterwards that we decided to develop other interests, because after the diploma and working on hand, the experience on site, it was enough to carry me on what I wanted to do within the media space. So I started not as a journalist. I became a broadcast journalist along the line and decided it's not enough. So I swayed into development journey. So personally, I'm a development journalist.
Oh. So do you mean to say that you schooled at IB?
Yes.
Yo. Yeah. It's good to see, one of your own. Manasseh is on. Hello, Manasseh. Good afternoon. Hello, Manasseh. Good afternoon. Okay. I think you are muted. If you can unmute. Hello, Manasseh. He's still trying to get through. Well, Manasseh, when you are able to hear us, let's speak, let me hear so that we can hear you.
Hello. Okay, great. So for me, I did not attend journalism school. I did my undergrad at Legon in linguistics. Yeah. Oh wow, that's nice. So as I said, but I had interest the things I decided to do was to find a media house where I can do attachments. So I virtually sent an attachment letter to every radio station in Kumasi at the time. Yeah, I think that was virtually every radio station. That was, I think, in left campus somewhere in May, and then immediately after the World Cup that year, I began sending attachment letters around. And I did so to every radio station in Kumasi, but I didn't get any call from any of them. So I was then with my brother, Boase. And then, from Obuasi to Dunkwao, it's about 20, 30 minutes drive. So my brother told me there is a new radio station in Dunkwao on Ofin, and I can try. So I sent an attachment letter there. Unfortunately, they called me. So I had an attachment with them for, I think, 3 months. And after that, they told me they wanted me to do my national service with them. So I had to apply to the National Service Secretariat to post me there. And I did my national service for 1 year with them. So that was where I would say I learned the rudiments of the job. Because at the time, I was in the newsroom. Let me tell you something. For the 1 year I was at Spark FM, majority of the guys in the newsroom did not even know I was a degree holder. Because at the time, I remember the news editor then was a graduate from IBM&J as well. Charles Bamboaje is currently with the Information Services Department at Winneba. He was our news editor at the time. And, with somebody from Legon, But I hid that from them. And I did all the donkey work in the newsroom because I knew what I wanted. Because that was when I was learning on the job. Fortunately for me, because I was told I had a good voice, I could talk and all of that. So when you move to a new radio station and you had the ability, you were tried on almost every program. So I got to host the morning show at a point. I hosted the mid-morning show. I think the only show I never hosted was The Drive. And through that, and even I read the news at a point in English. So that was a learning process for me. And after 1 year, the owner of the station was like, he wants me to continue with Spark FM. And he was willing to pay me more than all the senior presenters on the station. So my 1 year there was quite impactful. And at the time, the person in charge of programs then was an old staff of Sky. So he recommended me to the owner of Sky, and I was asked to come to Sky. So I joined Sky from Spark FM, and the rest they say is history. So it was really a good learning process for me, and that's how come I entered media. No formal training. I virtually learned everything on the job. But I think it has to begin with passion and the talent and the skill. You might have the passion. If you have no talent and skill, you will not be, because I've seen people where they sit behind the microphone, or the mic, it's in the studio, So you need the talent also to flourish in this job. And I think fortunately for me, I had both. And with the training on the job, the rest is history.
Yeah. So what about Sir Raymond? Any formal training in media or marketing?
Well, I would say it was just later the opportunity Joy gave me, and then I schooled myself at Gimpa, studying marketing. But like what Obi mentioned, it is just the opportunity and being passionate about the opportunity. So I learned on the job. I did what I call the self-development. And so beyond classroom, see, student, if you are here, think beyond the classroom. Think beyond what your lectures will give you. Think beyond the notes that you've written. And find books that will give you overview, a better understanding of what you are studying. So I decided to invest into books. I decided to relate to content that will give me insights about sales. Because in our part of media practice, sales is actually not considered as a role. No. I mean, I've done this for 15 years plus, so I know. It's just about a few media houses that understand the importance of sales. And so these media houses are quite strong, if I can use that word. They are strong in their operations. They are strong in leadership. They are strong in content production because they understand the element of let's create and sell. Because in that creation, if we have selling in mind, we'll be able to make money. And so when I have the opportunity at Joy, it was to school myself, and in those days, to have opportunity to work at Joy was really a privilege. So one of the opportunities I got good mentors. So these mentors showed me that, listen, we've done this work for over the years. You have an opportunity to do it. We'll mentor you, hold your hands, show you how to do things. But, sometimes you have mentors, but you'll be lazy. A lot of young people have opportunity to be mentored by people. Mentorship is not only in clothes, but even in afar. The things that you hear from people, how do you put them in practice? I mean, great people sitting here, you've listened to them in different ways. They every day share information to you. But how do you put them into practice? So for me, the mentorship I had was one of the privileges, the opportunity. I learned on it. Then I decided to school myself in the area that I've chosen.
And Conrad, to add a little to what Sir Raymond said, you see, the three of us here, we didn't present our certificate to gain employment. It wasn't about what we've learned in school that earned us a place within the media space. That is what today's media students lacks. We all went in to serve. Me, for instance, at a point, if you know a typical Kumasi girl, a life full of fun and everything, you go to a place, the place that is called an office, a studio. You look around and you ask yourself, so will I be able to pick a bowl and dish food and eat here? You see death around. That is where I told myself, Nanaya, you tried Love FM, you were not employed. You tried Fox FM, you were not employed. Somebody has given you Chris FM in quotes, a village. When you went to Love FM, they said they need those with working experience. So I told myself, I need a working experience. That's what I need here. And whatever it takes to get that working experience, I will sacrifice. At a point, even though I was an on-air personality then, I was scrubbing the floor of the reception. I used to wash the curtain. It's not today that you see plenty curtain blinds. No. It was the normal room curtains that you know, that you use in your house. I will take it home, wash, because I hate dirt. I will get cold. I can't work well. So I make sure the place is clean. As I was doing that, the CEO spotted me. He saw something different in me as compared to the other people who have been there. So at any point that he's going for a meeting outside the office, in the city, in Kumasi, in Accra, he will carry me along. Not as a handbag, not as a girlfriend, but he carried me along because he knew I can express his vision well to the prospects we are meeting. It was that opportunity that I got to join Invisible FM in Kumasi. When Invisible FM came, they were transmitting via 5K. So sometimes if you're in Kumasi, I'm talking about 2000, proud to the 2000 elections, you get calls from Pokwase. So this boss, he just saw my ability as a domestic woman who is also seeking a career. I came to meet Mr. Wiafe, the CEO of Invisible, then Invisible, now Inshira FM, with him. That was the breakthrough for me. When I was being paid a token in Brekum, Invisible FM poached me from Brekum to Kumasi with a good amount of money. And after then, the same Love FM that I went for employment that didn't employ me, may his soul rest in peace, Said, he called, Nana, you have to come. And then I told him, I'm not coming. Everywhere that I went and was bounced, I'm not going back there because I'm not needed there. Fox FM, I went, I was bounced. Kapi called, I said, no, I'm not coming here. But when Despite Media called, I said, yeah. I might be honest with you here. I will come. And then I came. Some of you here, the ability to humble yourself under tutelage is very difficult for you. You go to the newsroom, you see plenty of attaches, and you are asked by your boss, Nana, we want to keep 2. Who and who do you want to be kept? Sometimes you look at them and you say none. Because none shares in the vision of the station. 1, none is ready to serve. Even after being an editor in Kumasi for years before I came to Accra, I came and served Mefia Kunedu for 12 years. Not that I didn't have my own plan, my own purpose. I did. The reason I didn't leave the newsroom. Now you can't mention any Akan newscaster and don't place me first. If I'm nominated for awards, yes, I'm bold enough to tell the organizer, I'm sorry, I don't want nominations again. Oh yes, I don't need to be voted on by the public to say, oh, you are the best newscaster. I've received over 100 honorees in what I do. So I don't need a vote. But you sitting here, when you get to the media house, the first thing, like ourselves, we were not media students when we entered. Hey, I know this ethics. This is done this way. You are even late to work. And you want employment? Hell no. You won't get it. And those who will get the opportunity to be employed, you don't make a mark. Ask yourself, within the media space, those who have name, very few, like our own Seth, Kwame, Champon, and a few, are those who went through the media stages, training stages to where they are. They are very few. The rest of us, we didn't start the journey as you have started. But the difference is ego among students. So no one will teach you. Even when I was an editor, poached to another radio station, bigger than where I was, even though I was reading news, I still find it fit to serve, because all I wanted within my media life is not just to broadcast news to my audience, no, but to be a change agent. somebody who will bring hope to homes, somebody who will bring hope to dying marriages, somebody who will nurture children, somebody who can shape you individually for the community use and for the national use.
I give it up for her.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for such an inspiring, motivational talk. Philip, how about you?
Yeah.
From the training and all that you've been doing so far, what exactly has been your focus as a journalist?
I think it's a lot, and I'll try as much as possible to summarize in a short time. So I see young people all over the place, and I think before we leave here, one thing we should leave with is a renewed mindset. And I say renewed mindset. I say that for so many reasons. Number one is you are now in school. I mean, it all looks very easygoing. About school fees, how much maybe be send you sky, you know. So it looks very easy, very sexy, very romantic, and all of that at this age. But when you leave the four walls of your school, you know, Ghana is a country with a very youthful population. But it's not just Ghana, it's an African thing. So Africa has the youngest population in the world, with a median age of around 24. When you look at Europe, Europe has a median age of 43. Pretty the same as Asia. So they have very aging populations. And the challenge is that by 2035, more than half of all new job seekers in the world will be Africans. So that would mean a lot of pressure on the youth. In fact, in the next 15 years, for every African youth to be engaged in gainful employment, we would have to create nothing less than 1.1 billion new jobs. That's a huge task for African government. So for you as a student now, if you want to land that dream job, you have to stand out. What did I say? You have to do what? You have to stand out. There is absolutely no other way out. You have to stand out. How do you stand out? See your competition beyond your classroom now. So you are in this great university, 50 students in a class. Your exams be area, una would first. So you think you've arrived. No. See your competition beyond your classroom. And that's why I was deliberate to paint the African picture to you. If I paint the global picture, you would run away. But let's limit ourselves to the African and the Ghanaian context. Every year, more than 250,000 graduates pour onto the job market here in Ghana. 250,000. And those are even conservative estimates. So the world out there is not easy. You have to do what? Stand out. And that's why the Bible even says, whatsoever your hand findeth to do, do as if you do unto God. You have to stand out. Seest thou a man who is diligent at his work? He will do what? He will stand before kings. Stand out. There is no other option. And the question will come, how do I stand out? And I'm sharing practical experiences with you. How do I stand out? And I think it's a legitimate question for every young man to ask. And I'll share maybe 2 or 3 points with you. Number one is the God factor. Extremely important. The God factor. And I'm happy we are in a Christian university. I tell people that I am not ashamed being a Christian. And you don't have to if you are a Christian. The same for Muslims. Because we all believe in the existence of a supreme being. But you have to connect to a particular source, to a source. And that's how come you understand your purpose on earth. The God factor is essential because you need to know your purpose. You need to know your purpose. Extremely important. So you are not just a salary paid or somebody who is paid a salary because you are a journalist in a radio station. No. It should go beyond that. You should understand your purpose on earth. Extremely important. So the God factor is necessary. And the God factor is for all of us. The grace of God is available to all of us. God doesn't love me more than Anaya, but it's about the relationship you build with God. Very, very important. So understand the God factor. In this day and age, one critical resource you have is your mind. Is your what? Is your mind. And the reason is simple. We are in a knowledge economy. We are in a knowledge what? Knowledge economy. So you have to know something. Your mind. If there is one important thing you should do, and it cuts across, it doesn't just have to be a journalist. You have to build your mind. The only way you can earn more is to become more. How do you become more? You learn. Read. We are in a knowledge economy. That's how come you stand out. If you don't know something, nobody will take you serious. Your mind, your mind, your mind. Learn. Read. Don't just read what you are taught in school. Read just about everything. Build your mind. And one will say, na obi we ekosi saying. What do you need? When I rose to become morning show host at Sky Power FM, and for those of you who know the Western region, Sky is like the radio university in the Western region. If you are the morning show host and you grow to become
what the board
programs
seeks to do
manager
is
for
to
Sky
make
Power
sure
FM,
that you get the training, you get the feel of how it is when you go onto the real world. Bankers, the directors.
I thought I should go and study for my master's. And I was that person. I told myself from uni that if I want to do a master's degree, I will not do it here in Ghana. So I went to the UK to study corporate communications and public affairs. I came back. I still went back to Sky for 1 year. But I had told myself, and it dovetails into one thing I'll be telling you, that you need a plan for your life. Extremely important. If I send this microphone around and I ask each one of us here, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Do you know? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? If you don't have that captured on paper, you would live your life to chance. And that's why Jesus even said, is there anyone who would go to war without counting the cost? Jesus was talking about planning. Planning. You should know where you want to get to. It's beyond studying here in this university and in all the great schools you are in now. Where do you see yourselves in the next 5 years? Where? You need that plan for your life. And that plan should not be on your mind. It should be captured. So the Bible says, write the vision down. Down. It should be captured on paper. So you know where you are going. Without that, you will live your life to chance. And that's why you don't even plan. You plan for birthday parties. How much more your life? So it's extremely important. You should know where you are going. And that's what has guided some of us to this stage. So I did my master's degree. I came back. I told myself I want to do corporate job. So I entered ECG. And at ECG, I was paid very well. I was the head of public relations for the whole Western region. A young man, barely 29, 30. You know, I was paid very well. I sat in management meetings and all of that. And then I still decided to do part-time radio. So I was doing a weekend program at Sky. You know. And even after I had left media, like mainstream media, over 3 years, multimedia, when they want to recruit, they touch base with the affiliate radio stations in the regions. to ask them if they know anybody they can recruit. So when there was opportunity for somebody to come and host a Kosi saying, multimedia touch base with their affiliate in the Western region. I was not working for that affiliate radio station, but the owner of that station said there is one person I can recommend. And I was not even in mainstream media. I was with ECG. But he said if you want somebody to fit this role, it should be Obi. And he had equally good presenters in the station, but he knew what I can do. And it comes back to the point I made earlier. Whatever your hand findeth to do, do as if you do unto God. Because your work would speak for you. It's extremely important. Extremely important. So as you step out of school, even if you are a cleaner, clean to the extent that when we are looking for the best cleaner, your name will pop up. So when I mention your name, somebody should hit the mind, something should hit the mind of people. If you are a cleaner, do it as if you do unto God. So I was recommended for multimedia, and then I joined. And tell you what, the negotiations took a long time because I was leaving ECG. I was leaving ECG, all the comfort, all the largesse to join the multimedia group. So it took time. Because they had to pay me and pay me well before I leave ECG. So it is something you should know that when you put in the effort, it will pay off. So when people say media doesn't pay, I look at them and I laugh. I'm like, you join media with no value, it will not pay. Because in media, we don't have a lot of structured media organizations in Ghana. Like you would have with a company like ECG. Fortunately, at the multimedia group, we've built a huge structure that works. So you would find at the multimedia, and I'm happy my brother has worked at the multimedia before, that the culture there is not like you find in other media houses. It's a well-structured organization. It's a company that poaches people from Guinea, Ghana, from Bank of Africa, and all of those. So that's the culture we built at the multimedia group. So I am lucky to be working there. But maybe you will not be lucky in the media house you find yourself. But what you would have is the value. Is the value you add on. But you come with that value when you've built yourself through constant learning. Build yourself. After my master's degree, after hosting a Kosi saying, I still decided that to be able to get to that level, I'll need to study law. So I just completed my LLB studies from the Central University Law Faculty. I've written the entrance exams, and hopefully I'm told the results will be out next week.
Okay, we are praying for you.
So I am hopeful that I would enter Makola this year.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years' time, if I'm lucky, I'll be called to the bar.
Yes.
But it is that longing for constant learning, to build yourself and build yourself well. That is how you stand out. Your mind. I cannot overemphasize that point. Learn. And you are youthful. You have no excuse. Learn. Every one of us has a smartphone. Wow, phone here, yam phone. Every one of us has a smartphone. Smartphone is the world in your hand. It's information superhighway. Anything you want to read, you don't need formal classroom learning alone. Just Google and learn. I tell people that the World Economic Forum publishes what we call the Future of Jobs report every year. So you know in the next 5 years which skills set you need to function in the marketplace. How many of us know about this report? So you have a smartphone, but and you want to be successful, you are joking. It will not come easy. Learn, be deliberate about it. Your life should be intentionally driven. Intentionally drive the future you seek. It will not be easy. If I tell you what you hear us say and do on air, 30% of the job we do. I wake up every 12 midnight and read In the amount for Femina Obi, you come across as intelligent in your interviews and all of that. It's not easy. It's not easy, I'm telling you, to be abreast with all the issues. Hosting a show like Ekosi is saying, it's not easy. It's the biggest political talk show in Ghana. It's not easy. I celebrated my birthday on Monday. And when people got to know I'm 38 years, people were like, wow, 38 years? You know. So I see myself as young in the space because of the competition you are in. But if people will mention your name and say, Charlie, you are doing well, it's hard work, a lot of hard work, a lot of hard work. For you to stand out, hard work, hard work, hard work. And I reference Apostle Paul. And because it's a Christian university, I'll show my Christianness.
Oh, good. Hallelujah. Heritage Christian College.
I reference Apostle Paul. For those of you who know the Paul story, Paul it did not just happen. So Paul himself said in 1 Corinthians that I am the least of the apostles, and I am not even worthy to be called an apostle, but because of the grace of God on my life. And he says, the grace of God was not in vain, because I labored than them all. The other versions will tell you, I worked hard than them all. So Apostle Paul walked 12,000 miles preaching the gospel. Paul it did not just happen. Hard work. Hard work. I labored than them all. If you want to stand out, work hard. Learn. So now for read, learn. It's not easy. It's not easy out there. 250,000 graduates. When you graduate from this uni, you'll be competing with them for jobs. And some of those jobs include jobs in the media. It's not easy. Nobody would employ you because you are beautiful or handsome. No. And Nanaya spoke about preparation, volunteerism. No media house will pay you for attachment. I manage as Empire FM, so I know you will not be paid. You will not be paid. You will not be paid. And if you think then you are joking. I told you when I was doing attachment at Spark FM, I was paid 20 Ghana cedis at the end of the month. 20 cedis. This is 2006, 2007. 20 cedis. It will not come easy, but have a purpose, have a goal, have something before you that will be greater than Sa Newman Keteno. And when the chance comes, because Sky as a sports presenter, people don't know this. I joined Sky Power FM as a sports presenter. Because at the time, after national service, Wilson Arthur told me, okay, we'll employ you, but you need any space. It was just before Can 2008. The only opportunity was in the sports department. And I told him I'll pick it. And we covered Can 2008 like nobody's business. Through that, I had relationship with Farai Mungazi and all the guys from the BBC, because they were stationed in Takoradi. Takoradi hosted Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and I think Mali. So it was the group of death. So all the attention was in Takoradi, and we worked hard. After 2 years, the morning show host of Sky was going on a month leave. And I think it was the worst decision he took. Because Wilson said, Obi, you can do the morning show. Step in. After 1 month, all the managers of the station told me to continue. In the Oba back, Yamaniko newsroom. And it's not a funny story, but that is my story. That's how come I became morning show host of Sky. And the rest, they say, is history. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take from the final panelist, then we'll open the floor for you for 5 questions, and that will be the end. So Raymond, it's been inspiring from your colleagues.
Yes.
What is your story?
I think that it's just as if we've shared notes. You know, I mean, when I was coming with my little son, I was just telling him about the knowledge of economy and the opportunities that are available to us as people, you know, deploying our mind for great things. See, media is about innovation.
And that connects to the learning. Where media has got into, maybe you are sitting here, you are thinking that when you complete school, there's already a job for you. You don't have jobs. There are no jobs for you. Peace FM. So why? You want to what? Host the morning show, Kokroko? Like seriously? I mean, like, what are you talking about? What is the value are you bringing? I want to continue from here. Value. And value comes with being innovative. Your innovation as a student counts so much. When I had the opportunity to work at Joy FM, and Joy FM was, still the breeding ground for a lot of salespeople. See, a lot of people come into media, they want to be presenters, producers. Nobody walks into a media house and says, I want to be a salesperson. No. You could ask anybody here. You have Truth TV. Do you have any student who has actually walked up to you and said, listen, I see that we can run adverts here. I want to do this part-time on campus. Find businesses within this community. Speak to them about Truth TV. And then when I bring you the business, you pay me a commission that I could even use that to fund my education. No. But you are thinking of becoming a presenter. You're a presenter on TV. Somebody is looking for your position. Sitting here, he wants to take over you. But it won't happen because you don't have the experience. The experience comes by you being innovative. The opportunity I had at Joy as a salesperson, looking at the entire brand of Joy FM, I said, what can I do? I developed so much interest in programming. I mean, I have left Joy on multimedia 3 years. But I know every bit that happens on Joy FM, even if I'm not listening. Because you see, there are two things that happen in media. You have the content generators. They are the content generators. They are sitting here. And then we have revenue generators. The revenue generators seize opportunities with the content and says, let's find brands. So you are listening to a Kosi saying, and he's mentioning about 10 brands that are associating themselves with the content. That job is done by a revenue generator. And that's my role. Now, many students are not thinking about that. In your studies, you're not even thinking about, okay, so these stations that I want to go work with, how do they make money to pay their staff? You hear about advertisement. And sometimes we say the commercial break pays the bill. Oh, now don't pay advert dodo. Now one program, you adverts. No, because that pays the bill. What should be your thoughts around this dynamics in media? And he said it, jobs, the future of jobs in media are revolving. He is sitting at Ekosi saying at this time, he's done almost about how many years? 5 years?
5 years.
5 years. He is not leaving his seat. If he is good, even when he is on leave, they are thinking, the institution is thinking, somebody who is equally good to sit in. If you think about benchmarking, or you want to think about somebody to replace him when he is away, so that the audience will not feel like he's not away, he's away, so I won't be able to listen to him. Even that, look at the process they go through. So you are so far, far, far. The only thing that will bring you close is to think outside the box. You can only think outside the box by studying, by researching, by looking into the trends of media. You see, social media is not everything. The practice of media is not social media. That's why it's called the new media. The old media is there. And with the kind of structure we have with media in our world, Africa, Ghana, traditional media is still dominant. Traditional media is not going to leave us until our internet infrastructures are so strong that everyone will be online. There are many people who are not online, who do not have access to data. Go and check other villages. So I'm bringing my role, innovation. Now, looking at the number of people who were serving that department, this is over, let me say maybe at my time, over 30 plus. and we're still recruiting new people. How do I stand out to be relevant in my department, my interest in programming? Because it's the program that I sell to clients. The clients will not buy the frequency, they'll buy the content. The content has the audience. So the client is actually interested in the audience on ecosystem, but the content is ecosystem. There's a host, there's an audience. So when you are going to advertiser to go and sell to them, it is the audience. And who are this audience? They want to understand the demographics. When they appreciate the demographics of the audience, then they can give you your money. So my innovation was to listen. Joy FM is too big. If I don't take care, I'll be sacked. And it almost happened to me. The sacking process was about understanding the vision of the company, innovation. So one of the things I developed was to understand what Joy FM stands for as a brand and imbibe myself in it. So study the vision, read about it every day, try to understand the culture that I find myself in. And that really helped. With that understanding, I stood out. I was able to innovate myself with my colleagues, how I connect with clients, how I actually interact with people. Then, in our process, you'll be promoted, you'll be given the role, you'll be given an assignment. Now, here I am in a department, they are seniors. Well, when we recruit new people, I'm the one that they were assigned to be mentored. Like, listen, these guys are new. Can you coach them what we do here? This I didn't get any training. But it is learning the culture and learning the way we do things in our department. So our department, I became somebody that when they are new entry, what we call them rookies, people who do not know their left and right in sales, teach them, mentor them, so that they can also stand on their feet and be like you. That was the innovation I brought to myself. Fast forward, I was given different roles. When I was leaving multimedia, my last role was a sales manager role. Now, once I was in multimedia and learning, I spent 8 years, made some money, and went into school to study. Then another station, then Vibe 91.9, transitioned into Live FM. They hired somebody from Vodafone, and they were trying to find sales opportunities. And it was really difficult for them because we're new. Then one of them knew my role at Joy and saw the way I stood out with the responsibility that was given to me in the department. And this is just to tell you that somebody will give you an opportunity. It is how ready you are to add value to that opportunity. Somebody, maybe any of us here, will give you an opportunity. Come and serve, attach yourself in the newsroom and learn. But you come and you don't add any value. No. You'll be kicked out. There was somebody, I think a year ago, one of the awards, GJA, an intern at Joy News, won an award in one of the documentaries. Now, my question is, as an intern, this is not employed. I kept on thinking about such a person because the person brought value. It is not easy to work in certain media houses. So if you are eyeing an opportunity there, as we are sitting here, we are telling you that prepare yourself. Add value to what you have. When the opportunity is presented to you, can you work in a Peace FM newsroom? No, ask yourself. Can you work in a Sempa newsroom? The demands. Or Joy FM newsroom? The demands. Ask yourself if you are ready for it. And when that opportunity is presented to you, what is the one thing that you will introduce? What is the one thing that you recommend? What is the one thing that you will say that, I think the way we do our news presentation, based on my research, based on the information, I think we can add A, B, C, D. The interesting thing is that in our industry, we're all in competition. We want to outwit each other with audience. The reason why OB does not sleep, wakes up at 12 a.m. to study, read, and be sharp on air is to make sure that when you check the audience rating between the hours of 2 to 6:30, no one comes close to him. That's not a joke, man. That's not a joke. It is value. It is value. So, fast forward, the opportunity I had at Live FM, I became a sales manager, and that's my role journey. From Joe FM, I became a senior sales account person as executive, then got opportunity with Live FM. Also served there for almost a year. Brought a lot of innovation to the sales department. Were able to bring in revenue, and then the station was acquired by the EIB management. Now I moved to join EIB as a deputy sales manager for Star FM. This is my role. Star FM, I became the deputy sales manager, mentoring new people who have not experienced sales. This has been my journey. We started Star, built a foundation, and then they acquired Live FM. I was transferred to manage Live FM, build new sales teams. Fast forward, I had the opportunity to join turnaton.com, started a journey on digital sales altogether. When I also went there, build a new sales team. Then fast forward, I joined Class Media Group as client relationship manager. There were a few salespeople who worked together, and then I moved out. Then the opportunities I learned at Joy came to face to face with me. Now listen, over the years, and if I tell you, the model we run at Multimedia with sales, it's strictly on commission. Now when you're a new entry, you have a base to keep you for some time, because multimedia brands are all matured. Anywhere you mention Asempa, you mention Joe FM, somebody will buy from you. So it was management decision, but even salespeople were quite exciting with commissions. When you walk into multimedia, the best cars you see are for salespeople. Yes, that's the thing. But I'm thinking that some of you sitting here, if they say there's an opportunity, you won't be paid no monthly salary. You'll be given commission. You say that you in front of me. You will not do it. You will not take up that opportunity. Even to find out what must I do, and do I need any assistance? Do I need any help? Listen, I've sat through many opportunities with students, graduate, they are done with everything, they are looking for opportunity. And they say, listen, there's an opportunity here, but you know, at this time, the way we build this business, we don't even have money to pay salary and pay you. But we can assure you that when you bring us business, we'll get you commissions. And we've seen people carry their CVs and walked out and say bye-bye. I'd rather I'll go home and sleep. Yeah, we've had many. There are people who have rejected offers in front of me. There are people who have been bold, taking up the decision, and their lives have transformed. So, fast forward, started my own business with the knowledge, the experience built from multimedia. Start from scratch because of that opportunity. So I'll come back to Afrimat. Now I started Brand Trends Communication, finding businesses that I've worked with them many years and seeing what I can do for them and working with media houses. But there's one opportunity I realized. How do we mentor the next generation of sellers who will sell media? So I took that upon myself. If you're interested in selling media, I'll coach you for free. I started that journey and was helping people. Let me say this story. There's a lady, she's in the States right now. She was selling properties, and then she had an opportunity to work with a particular radio station. But there was a challenge with her commissions. So she felt bad about the experience. And then she said she won't sell media again. Now, I met her through our mentorship program. And then I told her that, listen, I think at that time, Metro TV was recruiting. So I said, there's an opportunity. But if you come through our training, I'll mentor you, show you how to go about things. And then she took that advice, joined. I think she was the only one we started with. At that time, we were about to start, I think it was a World Cup, if I remember very well. Then opportunity came. She enrolled herself at Metro. Then they started sponsorship. So she was with sales. And that was a breakthrough. After our training, she joined the sales department. Workout proposal was presented to her. She now has to find clients to work with. Then she called, and I said, well, I have somebody. I can refer you to this person. Go and speak to them because they like sponsoring World Cup. And this lady took the advantage, went through the process, signed up the client. That sponsorship that she got, she made a commission out of it and decided to join her mother in the state. And that was the opportunity that somebody took. So that mentorship program, I'm still doing it. I do it for a lot of people who have interest in selling media. Then we realize that our industry as sellers, we have practitioners. We have people who sell from across Peace FM, all the media houses. They sell every time. It's their work. They do this for a living. And I was part of it, doing that for a living. How do we have a continuous knowledge sharing? So then we created the AFRIMAS, Africa Media Advertising Sales Summit, where every year the practitioners, media people, advertisers, agencies, the ecosystem, let's come together and reason and fine-tune the way we look for money. Okay. So every media house is looking for revenue. Even if they have money, the money will be lost. So the idea was for us to sit together and look at the trends and opportunities within the media ecosystem in Ghana and Africa. And that's how we developed AFRIMAS. But this all sums up to the opportunity that was presented to me and how I was more innovative with the opportunity. When opportunity comes to you, students at Heritage, from wherever media institutions add value to it. Because it is the value that will keep you. If Obi, see, Nkusi is saying it's a flagship program. Now, if you don't add value to the program, definitely they will kick you out. And find somebody who will add value. So value is everything. I think I'll end here.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right. Are we getting Manasseh now? Hello, Manasseh. I hear he's been trying so hard to join us. Sorry for the frustration. But let's take some questions now from the audience. And so when we get Manasseh, we can come on. So please come. Let's take 3 questions at a time, and we'll have 3 sessions of questions, and then that will be all. So please come forward. And then, is there another microphone, or you just come for this?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel from Crystal Galaxy College of Aviation and Professional Studies. My question goes to Obi. I want to establish that I'm a big fan of Obi, and I'm an ardent listener of Okosisen. Now, I want to ask Obi, when you were pushed by multimedia to fill the gap Kaba left, how big was the shoes for you? And I want to ask, do you think that where you sit, are you at the summit of what you do? And then, like they say, every government makes an appointment from the multimedia, the likes of Stan Dugbe, Kujo Nkrumah, and then Mark Okrekumanti. In the next 5 years, should we see Obi as a minister, an appointee of the government? So that's my question.
Please, my name is Isaac Upoku from Top One Multimedia Institute. Please, my question goes to our last guest who spoke on sales. My question is that you made mention of adding value. As a media student, how can we add value to what we know? And our lecturer, one of our lecturers always tells us that we should be innovative and creative. So how can you be innovative? And also, please, on your sales, I really want to, it has really gingered me to, I mean, it has really, really gingered me. Though I am an editor, but it has really, really gingered me. So I want you to, I mean, educate me on that so that I can add it to my own. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see if. Hello, Manasseh. Hello, Manasseh.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Hello.
We can hear you loud and clear. Good afternoon. How are you, Manasseh?
Good afternoon. I'm doing well. Unfortunately, the line is very faint and I can't hear you, but let me make a quick submission.
Good.
And I would want to start by apologizing to the organizers and the cherished participants for my inability to make it in person. I really wanted to, but unfortunately, an emergency came up and I would have to join briefly virtually. Let me take this opportunity to also thank the organizers for this opportunity to share with colleague journalists and colleague young people of our republic, especially those who have interest in going into journalism and communication in general. I understand that online sessions are not as lively as the in-person sessions, so I'll keep my submission very brief. I'm given to understand that those participating today are mainly journalism students and communication students who want to make a mark in the industry, and I have three brief things to share. And I am sharing this because it worked for me, and I hope it will work for them too. When I completed journalism school in 2010, I till date, all the jobs I have done, I didn't apply for them. Thankfully, I have rather had opportunity to reject the jobs. And that is not because I'm more intelligent than whoever I went to school with or more talented than any other young person struggling to get a job today. What I will say is that whilst in school, begin to learn very hard and begin to practice your trade. If you are into communication or journalism, your strongest CV is not your degree or first class or whatever is on that CV. Your strongest selling proposition is your byline. If you are hiring reporters or journalists and you are able to prove that you did this story, you did this article, you did that report, and it was very good, when they read it, they will be interested in hiring you. I want to just share three basic C's that you should have if you want to make a headway in journalism, and some of it also applies to other aspects of the profession. The first C is the competence. The competence to do what you're supposed to do. I do reporting, and you need to be knowledgeable in the field, and you need to also master the tools of the trade. The tools of the trade are mainly the language and the content. So if you are a very good investigative reporter and your English is terrible, or you are a good reporter who has a good nose for news, but you cannot write good English, you're likely to be in trouble. If you can also write good English, but your content is very hollow, you won't be followed. So the competence in the content and the language should be mastered. And the best way to master that, in my view, is reading. If you are here today learning journalism and you don't like reading, I'm afraid you cannot go far in this career. The second C is the courage to pursue your dreams. You need to be courageous in your chosen field. You'll be insulted, you'll be vilified, you'll be attacked, you will be threatened, you'll be sued. You will come up against a lot of challenges and obstacles if you set out to do critical investigative reporting or critical journalism in general. If you're a host of a show and you are doing your work as you should, you come up against serious challenges, but you need to be courageous enough to continue. Those of us doing these kinds of work are not fearless, as some people say. We are human beings. We have all the fears, we have all the weaknesses of humanity or human beings. We are human, we are not superhuman. There's nothing superhuman about an investigative journalist. You only tell yourself that something needs to be done. This nation needs to be sustained, and to be able to do that, you need to be courageous. So courage is important. The final C is the character. Character. If you are very competent, you are very courageous, but you have a very terrible character or work attitude, you're not going to go far in this field. There have been some of my investigations. I think one of them, one of the sources was virtually sending me on errands. I'll go and do errands for this source because I needed information. So we have a meeting, okay, go and do this for me, and it's the information I needed. So you have to be humble, you have to have integrity, you have to be trustworthy so that sources can trust you with information. So these are the 3 C's. And as part of the character, work attitude is also important. In my book, The Voice of Conscience, I have an article titled, Joy FM is Not for My Father. And it talks about work attitude. There are people who work as though they're just doing it to earn a salary. If you ever get opportunity to do internship, that internship can open the way for a permanent employment. It is not only about what you do. When I was about to do my internship at GBC, that was GTV 1100, some people discouraged me, saying that if I went to GTV, I would be sent to buy roasted groundnut and plantain. I wouldn't be given the opportunity. I went, and within a week, I was able to go out to do stories on my own. When I completed GIJ, for the first 3 years, 2010, 2011, and 2012, the GGA Awards in respect of those years, I won the best TV news reporter 3 consecutive times. I got that experience because I did internship at GTV. And if you went there today and asked the cameraman and the sound technician, they would tell you that anytime I got out from the car, I would hold a tripod and other things. Don't think you are too proud to learn. Be humble, bid your time, serve, and when the right time comes, you will be elevated. I want to end by saying again that if you are in the field of journalism, if you are in the field of communication, you will need to be able to learn how to talk, you need to be able to learn how to write, you need to be able to learn how to communicate. And you cannot get this by watching telenovelas and always on series. Get yourself busy with reading. Reading is very crucial to success in this field. I wish you all the best, and I hope that in due time, we should have face-to-face encounters where the interaction can go on a bit longer than this. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wow. Give it up for Manasseh Awuni Azuri. Thank you very much, Manasseh. We wish you all the best. And sorry for all the frustrations that you've gone through in connecting with us. We are so privileged for now. So that was Manasseh Awuni Azuri. He is an investigative journalist. He's an editor of The Fourth Estate. The Fourth Estate is a project of the Media Foundation for West Africa. And then also he has been Ghana's best journalist before. And then West Africa, many awards, regarding his stories. I've had the opportunity to work with him when I was a news anchor and reporter at Ghana Television. All the things he's recounting about his internship and working on his reports, I was part of that experience. And I loved the way that he carried himself as an upcoming journalist, He was in school by then, but he would just come to the newsroom, and then he has a story to share with us. He has a story to work on, and the kind of attitude, humility he would demonstrate, and what was earning him the opportunities, the cameraman and all the other people who had to help him to work on his stories. And those stories became winning stories at the GJA Awards. Humility, character, ability to deliver something so that it can have an edge over what the normal person is doing. And then the willingness to work hours. All of these, as have been said by my colleagues, are tips for success in this media space. All right, so there were two questions, one for Obi, one for Sir Raymond. Obi, yeah.
Okay, so thanks for always listening to Ecosystem. Are there any other? Okay, so, but the question is a very important question. How I saw the opportunity, and did I consider it too big for me to fill into those shoes? When you stand on the shoulder of kings, you have no excuse but to succeed, because you can see further than they saw. I have been privileged to have sat on a show hosted previously by some astute media personalities. So Ecosystem started somewhere in 2007. The first host of the show was Uncle Ken. Ken, I've forgotten the full name. Yeah, we call him Uncle Ken, He's now an entertainment pundit. He sits on Entertainment A to Z on Joy FM every Saturday. But we call him Uncle Ken. So he began the show, and then Bobby Ansa took over. And he really ran with the show, built Ecosystem into what it has become. Unfortunately, after he left, the late Kaba took over. And Kaba did an amazing job on Ecosystem. So, as fate had it, Kaba passed away, and then I took over the show. And, all the three I've mentioned were kings, and I had to stand on their shoulders. So I had no excuse than to also run and do exploits with the show. God being so good, from 2018 till now, I think it's for Ghanaians to judge. But what I can say is that I took over the show in 2018. In 2019, we won for the first time the CIMG Radio Program of the Year in 2019. And then in 2021, for the first time in the CIMG Awards, the show won the CIMG Radio Program of the Year again. So for the second time in 3 years. It's never happened before, So 2019 and then 2021. And in between those years, in 2020, we won for the first time the Ghana Journalists Association Political Program of the Year Award. So we, in of God, we have a lot to report, that we did not disgrace our forebears. And I believe wherever Kaba is, he would be smiling all the way in heaven, that we took over the show from him, and we've done exploit with the show. So yes, initially, many thought, Nase Kaba ni hona upubi amana be yikus, obi or share Western region, baby, obi, But I always tell people that, and I'm happy I began from Breku. If you want, but I always tell people that solid. And I'm happy I began from Breku or If you want, I always tell people that solid. And I'm happy I began from Breku or If you want, I always tell people that solid. And I'm happy I began from Breku or If you want, I always tell people that solid. And I'm happy I began from Breku or is the platform. And that's why I don't take the opportunity I have sitting in Okosi saying lightly. Because if you get to a level where you think you are the best there is, but small boy, you be to me a barber, you know, and that's the reason why constantly you have to learn and add value. Manasseh spoke about reading. Sir spoke about reading. Spoke about constant preparation. And I spoke about building mind. If you wanted any emphasis, you have it here. I emphasize that. You know, ours is a professional verification. So you have to constantly, because nipa we in the interview, you know, say or can be a wunima, obey in papenia or no so able to verify the person is saying. So know that the profession you want to enter is one of verification, and constantly putting people on their toes. It's an extremely important thing. So if you ask me whether I harbored any fears, I love to accept challenges. I moved from Sky to join ECG as a 29-year-old, and I was a management member. I had to handle communications for ECG in the whole of the Western region. And I was employed in the heat of the Dumso. That was in 2015. In 2015. And if you've done a bit of PR, you would understand crisis communications and what it brings. So in the heat of the Dumso, it was terrible. But that was when I learned PR on the job. You know, so I love to accept challenges. And when the Ekosi is saying, and in fact, I'll tell you a story. When multimedia initially approached me, it was not even for Ekosi saying, but the negotiations had begun even before Kaba passed out. Yes. And Kwesi Chum had listened to a presentation I made in Washington, D.C. And that's a part of my story I left out. So when I joined ECG in 2017, I won the Mandela Washington Fellowship. And the Mandela Washington Fellowship was a flagship program President Barack Obama instituted for Africa. So every year, close to 1,000 young African leaders are sent to the US. So it's academic, networking, everything. And we are placed in schools in the US. So I was privileged to be at the University of San Diego in California. And that's where I studied for a postgraduate certificate in social entrepreneurship and leadership. And it was one of the most exciting moments in my life. In fact, in 2012 when I won, so my master's was sponsored by Tallow Oil, the Tallow Group Scholarship Scheme. The trick is that for both opportunities, in the Tallow scheme, there were 4,000 applications in 2012. 4,000 applications. They only picked 40. And if you've had any stint with the British Council, you know the rigor they will take you through when they are screening. 40 out of 4,000. God's grace, I was part of the 40 they selected in 2012. And that's how come I got to study for my master's. And then in 2017, the US State Department also came out with the Mandela Washington Fellowship. And Ghana had to present 40. And there were, I think, 4,040 applications. You know, again, we went through the process and I was part of the 40, you know. So that's how come I studied for a postgraduate certificate. And as part of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, there is this presidential summit we do in Washington, D.C. So every school on the fellowship will present one student. So all of us will converge in Washington, D.C. for 3 days. But there is the Ignite Talk series. So speakers are selected to speak on a subject they are passionate about. But the schools would have to run competitions in the schools to select the main speaker for the Ignite Talk series. And in my school, University of San Diego, I was selected to go and speak. And I spoke about youth entrepreneurship and why I think it's what we need as a continent to be able to create jobs for the teeming youth. That video is on YouTube. When you type my name, it will pop up on YouTube. Kwesi Chuma apparently watched that video. And so when my name came up from the manager of the regional, affiliate in the Western region, so it connected because Kwesi Chuma had watched that video and it was like, okay, this will be the right man we need. And through the negotiations, it was then that the late Kaba passed out. And then I told them, because initially, Ichum said, Joy Morning Show. And then the Dome Morning Show opportunity came. But I told them I want to sit on Ekosise, And then they say, okay, then why not? Let's give it a try. And again, the rest they say is history. So every opportunity you get along the line, if I entered the University of Diego, because we were 5 African students in my class, if I entered and then I was like, okay, but I saw an opportunity because you would be speaking in front of 1,000 young African students. Reps from the White House will be there. It's probably the biggest opportunity any young African will get. And I seized the moment and I did what I did. The video is on YouTube, the whole world. In fact, when we came back from US of A, another fellow in Nigeria called me one early morning and told me, Philip, your video in Washington, D.C. is on Channels TV in Nigeria. If you know Channels TV, it's the #1 television station in Nigeria. They played the entire video on Channels TV. So, whatsoever your hand findeth to do, do as if you do unto God. And I think that will be the difference between you and the others. Thank you.
Before Sir Raymond come, let me add this one. When Obi was talking about preparation, reading more, making yourself irrelevant, preparing for any occasion, I also use the Bible because it's a book of life. It can guide you, whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim. In Proverbs chapter 20, verse 13, it says, don't enjoy sleeping, else you'll be poor. If you put it in chi, or say, susu ma ena enya ude na we ni here. In yenya contest ene, meka say, susu ma afekubo tantan enya ude na we ni here. You see, Momo era way may come more because ye mu be by the grace of God. Yes, we are very, 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 very okay. Very Nancy. Yeah, time there wasn't internet to say the internet. You just click information. There is content, knowledge, wisdom on your phone. Many of you choose the entertainment aspect. Even though it's also money, but you don't choose wisely. So you are not prepared for the big shoe that you were asking when he was going to replace Den Kaba. Was it a big blow? Why should it be? Because he is always on the move. Like the 10 virgins in the Bible, 5 were wise, 5 were fools. Now, there is no opportunity at Asempa for you to replace someone. But you have to prepare yourself, because no matter what, an opportunity will come. Instead of you wasting all your time on unnecessary trend and unnecessary gossip, just find your smartphone. Find content that is in line with what you want to be. To some of us, even though we are in the digital space, we still write. I have what I put on phone and what I put in a book. In Habakkuk 2:3, it says, write the vision. Make it plain on the tablet. Because I do Chi, usually I prefer it in Chi. Or say, it starts, na ade hunone da so pe wiye, for the vision is set for the appointed time. So do you have a vision? If you do, it is set for an appointed time. It may delay, but wait. Whilst you are waiting, it says, shre ade hununo egu abopno so na wanya no akanye ahohere so. Write the vision. The reason, you see, I came with a book. Do you know why? Me, I write, I type. My reason is simple. In my bathroom, on my closet, my number one, I have a book. I have pen. I have phone. That's 5-10 minutes that I'll be seated there. I don't need to waste it. I came with my PA. When you ask her, randomly, Mama at that time being in there, she will tell you, Ebra mi ko nyane no. Now or ye juma o compute echi. Yes, because I was coming here, I have 4 hours that I do preparation for my other businesses. I'm spending the 4 hours here, so I can't sleep. So I woke up around 12 midnight. After my prayer session, I started work on my PC. So she thought she was waking me up around 4:30. She came and I was almost done with what I was doing on the PC. Look, what we are telling you today, you didn't pay for it. Me, as I sit, now people pay for what I'm telling you for free. I do consultation for 30 minutes. I take 1,500. Yeah, don't say, yes. That is what I've learned and built and I'm living on. In some cases, I charge. Last month or so, an event I didn't want to be part. So I gave them 15,000 cost. Averagely, I take 5. But I gave them 15 so that they will say it's too high. Then they will ignore me and pick another person. And they said, oh, no problem. In less than 5 minutes after our conversation, I found out, they've paid. Yes, so I have to go. Make yourself relevant. You see, when I came and I sat, I came early. Most of you were not here. I was seated with Comrade, and we were chatting. This work, Manasseh made mention of it. Make a conscious effort to learn. So be media, listen. Adiebi emfa wo no. You don't care. Emfa duane is suitable so, but ebefa wo ho ochina. When my beautiful lady was introducing COP Mamitiwa, I realized you don't usually listen to news. But you can't be in the media without listening. So those who came, that they follow Obi, I was happy. Do you know why? At least they have a mentor. And listen to Obi. I won't mention names. It's not like listening to some chaff. You will get a good diction, pronunciation of words, understanding of content. For a 2-hour program, you sometimes need as much as 24-hour research or reading for just 2 hours. Please do it and listen. Sometimes I listen to Adum not because Adum News is better than Peace News. No. We are competitors, we are friends. I listen only to find out how things are being done there. So if I hear a colleague make a mistake, I will humbly call, my dear, you said Corporal Mamitiwa. No, the COP, depending on where you are standing, you mention it right. If it's in police, it's a commissioner of police. If it's in the church, it's Church of Pentecost. So you see, you have to pay attention. Sometimes you don't need it for anything. By hook or crook, I'm following Agrada. I'm following Agrada. I beg you, for what? But at least it will give me a fair idea that still fools exist. Oh. And so, when I'm talking to my audience, I deal with the downtrodden. I deal with the market women. Oh, comrade, assuming this is a market, and I enter and say, hey, John Mami Chechamo, ask my PA, give me 2 minutes, I'll be mobbed. Oh, that is my comfort zone. They are my audience. And I know they are vulnerable. So I follow Agrada. I have Agrada's contact. I call Agrada. I talk to Agrada. She shares her broadcast with me. And so I know what she's up to and that stuff. So when my followers go to her, I understand her, I understand them, and I can balance it. Please, prepare yourself. The opportunities, it's abound to. Where you see a Juma ni ho, a yentro, obroni Juma ni ho. There will be better wokano that we don't have, but there will be better wokano ewo. And sometimes, if we are diligent, what do we need to form? Don't follow the masses. Be in your lane. Ejuma need to me buswa, bisami pie. E buswa, I consult for only 4 entities. Only 4. And I say only. But I have 4 no. This in 2 weeks. Makotema how many times? Over 10 in 2 weeks. That means every day I go to Tema. But every day you hear me on radio. Yesterday, I read news at 6 a.m. I did newspaper at 6:30 to 7:10. I had a medical report to pick at 8. I have a program at 2. I had a meeting at a factory in Tema at 10. But I was able to do all. Because I don't follow, if I have 15 minutes and I'm on social media, I know what I'm doing there. I beg you in the name of God. Please. Bola. A business for the media. It has been abandoned. Mudi say obiko na oye Ekufuado Mahama. Ese dunketia Sami Foto. TAB. We are pick baby a challenges na. Eti obi ayire ne ho bo mochi and obi can fire akwa hadwen you pick eno weka and na yakofa World Bank project we buy here and ye say that is where me I develop my business now me develop my bre me ntimi nye but enkrofo se adwuma ni ho bola we ya bola man se sie yi na wo hye suita wo nye newsmaker. Now we have social media. O smartphone yi, uto data. Data no to 10 cedis o, uto 2 cedis o, ebe she. Uko Facebook ebe she. Uko TikTok ebe she. IG ebe she. Wede kwa share fia Schwarzenegger awoko ebe she. Wede kwa share omo sa ebe she. Enti ball na wo hu ye no. Tina say, Jane, use the gumption God gave you. Ball yi, e de na ebetimi aye de afa ho. Let me create awareness. Enti ebra peace FM nyamfa multimedia nyamfa wo no. Wankasa wa ye ho bola ambassador. Eti o se wura, ofe wura. Busuafo maba begina aha. Na me ba he bola no mo de consume ano. En na tete egu fam bebre yi. Me pese me bisa se eye hwan asede. Social media brofo obibini ye nipa o. What they are so case close eye content. Ochina wonam pantan. The obenya watase. So the next time when you visit Zoom Lion and you say you want to see Dr. Joseph Siawe Japan, who are you? Oh, I'm Bolaman. Bolaman, blah, 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 on social media. They will open your page. Probably you have only 1K following, but the content you are making makes sense. It relates to what they do. You get the opportunity, Madam Wasi.
Hello? Okay, great. Yes, yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Create jobs for yourself. There's so much available within the media space in terms of entrepreneur. I mean, that's my drive. And my drive is the money side of media, the business of media. You know, when they are reading budgets, I always listen to budget with opportunity mind. I will not listen to budget with criticism. That's not my case. Where are the opportunities? Which ministries, which agencies are taking up initiatives? So from where I sit, from the sales mindset, from campaign, see, where every agency has budget. I remember when I was at Joe FM, I was handling Ministry of Information. But you say Ministry of Information, Sikeni? No. Oh, Sikawo. I met one colleague yesterday and I was asking Charlie, so what are some of the clients I handle? He says, Charlie, the ministries, so the agencies. His portfolio is to identify these agencies that are driving change within government. So change happens with media. They will use media as a tool to deliver information to the public. So if you position yourself as a salesperson, your interest to find out what is you invest is do. What is it you invest?
No, the new thing they want to launch, it's you start.
So you start. I heard that within the budget reading, and I started researching on it. Which agency is responsible for that, and what tools are they going to use to promote it? And that is how you find opportunity. These agencies, they want the drivers. They want people who drive the information for them. Listen. Nana, she said, oh, there are opportunities in media. But they are looking for the ones that they are not paying. The only job available as of now in media that nobody will struggle with you is sales. That is available. That one, today, you submit your CV. It's weekend. It's weekend right now. Submit your CV in any of the media houses and says that address the sales manager in that department. The next day, you'll be recruited. I'm telling you, a young lady walked up to us at the days at
Hello.
So in the evening, she walks up. Everyone is gone home. But I was in the office working. And then she said that she's looking for the sales manager at Live FM. And then she was directed to my office. So she sat down and asked,
what I look forward to when I enter a private university are their facilities. Heritage Christian College has one of the best ultra-modern libraries. The library has professional staff to welcome and assist you when using the facility. For security, lockers are assigned to every student to keep their bags and gadgets as they use the library. To boost relaxation, comfortable couches are stationed at the center of the library so you can stretch when tired or read newspapers and journals that are in constant supply. Private carols and peaceful atmosphere are features of the HCC library with air conditions at every corner to refresh you. The library is stocked with current and relevant books for learning, and they are neatly arranged for easy identification. Fast internet connectivity with modern computers to make research and finishing of assignments are accessible by all students. There are electronic books and facilities that can be accessed on and off campus. Last but not the least, high quality reprographic equipment including printers, photocopiers, combining machine, and many more. Choose HCC and get access to this ultra modern library.
When you have development attached to it, there are many initiatives that multimedia does that the Joy News channel revenue streams are all developmental content. It's real. So what are you doing? The time you have it, and don't wait that you want to finish school before you take up some of these initiatives that we are telling you. No. Don't wait. Do you want to complete even this institution? Who runs a content in this institution? There are a lot of content on campus. How are you positioning yourself to be the one to champion initiative on campus? That you could even use that as a tool to say that, oh, when you're on campus, you initiated this content, but if opportunity is given to you, you can also, add value to whatever is being given to you. I think one gentleman asked a question about sales. Yes, yeah. See, everything that we do, it's about leadership. Leadership is everything. To be successful in our space, you need to lead yourself. In that leading yourself, that's where you find opportunities. The people sitting here, I call them the content creators in their own field. And I remember one time I was listening to you and people were insulting people on social media, and I like that. She said she's a change maker. She used the platform to educate people about buying one CD. Because what I talk credit one CD. You could use that one CD to insult people in high authority. Leadership. Our industry are looking for people who are ready to lead. And leadership means that not when they see you in all demonstrations. No. In your own corner here on this campus, how are you leading? Somebody thought of this, bringing media student summit together. It's leadership. Where are the opportunities within our revolving media? Media is so revolving so fast. How do we bring people who have done it to come speak to them so it will bring them a different perspective? That is leadership. In what we do as sales, if you don't have leadership for yourself, you will not even see opportunity. Ecosystem, I know a program, but when you have leadership to listen to the content, appreciate the content, and find the audience needs and match it to the content on radio. The gentleman who asked the question, I'm sure we may not have time to be able to take you through all.
Exactly.
When we are done, we could have one-on-one and discuss.
All
but
right.
I'm just bringing to your attention that there's so much available in the area of what we call the background in media. You have opportunity. You sit in classroom 4 years. There's so much that you've learned in media development, in media management, in media skills, in media production. That is enough knowledge. If you don't have opportunity to sit on air, it doesn't mean that you are useless. It doesn't mean that you don't matter. You matter. Find yourself to lead somewhere within the space of media. Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi. Thank you very
Through
much.
TV, they are looking for salespeople.
Exactly.
You're on campus. You know how to talk to people. You have all the communication skills. Get to understand what True TV is all about. There's money to be made.
Yes, there is money to be made. Good. Thank you so much. Good. So we won't be able to take questions now again. Thank you so much. But any social media handles that they can follow you on so that they can see what you're doing better. Let's start with you.
Okay, so I think you can find me on Facebook. The Facebook is Sir Smith. On Facebook, Sir Smith. You can just like my page. Yes, yeah. Yes, yeah. The Sir is in bracket. The Sir is in bracket. And then on LinkedIn, it's Sir Raymond Smith. I think on Instagram, it remains. I'm not really active on Instagram, but Afrimas, what we do for the industry. This year, our journey, we realized that the conversation that we're having, we must be deliberate about it and build the new media business executives. The likes of Mr. Kwesuchum, the likes of Dr. Osei Kwame, and the many people who have interest in building media brands. They are young people who have started something on their own. How do we help them to scale up? So somebody is into creative, he's doing so well. But how does a person expand from just being one person, not even having a business registration name? So our second day of the event, we were looking at scale-up conversation for media marketing and technology. So if you are here, you've started your own small business, the opportunity is that we want to help you scale up. So we are bringing people who have done media business, marketing, media, technology, to come speak to us. That's on the second day of our event. That's on the 29th. But on the 28th, that's where we bring all the industry people to look at a theme that we've said, shift in media consumption and marketing, we think. And this came as a result of COVID. The way COVID brought all of us into one standstill where media consumption has changed. We want to now understand what must we do differently into the year 2023 and the years to come. So that's on the Afrimas. So this will happen on the 28th and 29th at the DSTV's office around the Achimota Forest, Abelempe, Accra. We'll do both in person and then online. And so I'm sure we'll have a conversation with organizers and know people who have interest for the scale-up, the entrepreneur conversation, and see if we can sign up some people up. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Now, Philip,
Okay, so I think we were able to. You need a round of applause. Clap for yourself.
Yeah.
And my reason is simple. I mean, in our quest for knowledge acquisition, events like these are extremely important. And if I look around the room, I am happy and not happy. I am not happy because I think the youth are missing so many opportunities. An opportunity like this might be once in a lifetime opportunity. And I would encourage you that don't stop attending some of these events. We did not have this opportunity. We didn't. If you are here, you are lucky. Yesterday, Ekosi organized the National Dialogue Series on youth entrepreneurship. Our chairperson was Dr. Daniel Macaulay. You know, before the event ended, he employed somebody there and there. Wow. The guy came to ask a question. He is a plumber. He wanted a real estate job. At a point, the guy was not very sure about himself, and Magdan gave it to him. Wow. That he is not very serious. He doesn't come across as serious. But after the scolding, he employed him. Wow. And in fact, there were people who came because the Maslock CEO was there, who had the opportunity to speak to her directly, and they are getting funding for their businesses. Some of these opportunities are once in a lifetime opportunity. And there are events that you attend and you get to hear from the rich experience of speakers like these. It doesn't come easy. It builds you. You are living here with a tin or two. But one man, and please be ambassadors and tell your friends. People think when you walk out of school, it's like a walk in the park. Just say, "Ubenya Juma so easily." Charlie, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Say, mostly when you come to seminars like these, you hear motivational talk and all of that. Free her. You are like hyper, Charlie. I'm going to make it. Me kwako say ho unya pie free na wi ahyewa ni nyina fa wasomeko. It is not easy. And that's why I said that you have to intentionally drive your future. Be deliberate about what you want. Be deliberate. Be deliberate. You attempt, you would fail, but be deliberate. Be deliberate about it, and things will work for you. And it starts with your attitude. Your attitude towards events like these. Because and there is no way that person can compare himself or herself to you. Because you will become more. You are living here a better person. And that is the difference between you and the others. That is the only way you will stand out. If you want to follow me, please tune in every day to 94.7 Asempa FM. From 6 a.m. in the morning to 12 midnight. Listen to Asempa. You are what you read and you are what you listen to. If you want to add value to yourself, the content you absorb is very important. So listen to Asempa FM and we'll stay in touch. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Nana Ya Kunedu. Peace FM.
Ne kra no. Eka mumu bie nyansa. Ombisa erade. Ono na edi nyansa ni nyina makwa. Ahohra bia eni achiri. Your network is your net worth. Wushia obi eni ni ntwa photo nkotare ho se. Mishia obi enti dien. Dia obefa woni munu a wobetimi dia koye bribi meno ho hia wo. Se meni utwa photo menkai enye networking. Ana abama me na me share wo Heritage Academy no me chini papa buzamba no me chini papa menkai lukre ba ko pep ba wo ba mommy ma sendo DM un responde ye me pa cho hwema me na me ye ade we ba me hunu so papa nti me hia mboa me yiwa no na ba chro hi me ni adaje for hello enti prepare yourself, package yourself well,
and present yourself well.
And present yourself well. Na enye ye nyina na mo be share one-on-one. Sometimes it's in your radio, it's in your social media. Yeah, muntie. Opa busa question wa ase wa. Opa inbox. Onipa ne be ma omwaye. Eno na be boa wo. Me say, bet me afra me phone 1000. Between me dim number be mamo. There was omo chat me no. Me responded to chat. But 300. Me near me de ka say. Ena me gold. Me ka say. Ehuna me didie. Ti me nkasa by heart. Eni nkomo bia keke. Na type 0244 27 25 91 0244 27 25 91. Talk Live GH, Instagram and Facebook. TikTok, YouTube, Talk Live TV. Life is simple, but it can be complicated. So let's talk life to know and live.
Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, you may take your seats now in the audience. Thank you very much. Oh, give it up for them. Give it up for them. It's very, very, very inspiring to have these wonderful, wonderful media practitioners in our midst today. Thank you, thank you. We have Nanaya Kunedu. I love the way she pronounces her name. Nanaya Kunedu. She is a presenter with Peace FM. And then Sir Raymond Smith. He is the founder of Afrimas Network and then also the marketing manager for MX24 TV. And we also have Philip Osei Bonsu, OB, the programs manager of Asempa FM. Then we also had Manasseh Ezuri Awuni, an investigative journalist, join us via Zoom. Thank you very much for those opportunities to have you here. All right, so we are just wrapping up right now. GAPS, that's the Ghana Union of Professional Students. Where's the rep? Okay, so I'm giving you 1 minute, just 1 minute. I've kept people for too long here. 1 minute for some brief remarks.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, respected speakers, my honorable members and then colleagues. I will just take a short, like you said, just 1 minute. In fact, I'm not happy. And I'm going to tell our president that you people disgrace me. That's the truth. Because when I came in, the number was great. But looking at the numbers now, I'm really not happy. And as a professional, honestly, I'm not happy. However, I want to assure you guys that whatever they did today, we as professionals have prepared your future already. I'm telling you. So on 30th, we launched an app called GAPS Connect app. Now, when you go there, let me tell you the truth. You'll find something we call You Report. You Report. That one is for you alone. So, like she said, you can do what? Bola man, Bola woman. And you post it there. We will share it for you and you get the views. Trust me, you can get the opportunity through GAPS Connect app. I'm telling you the truth. We have prepared that for you. You go there, you find a lot of opportunities. In fact, you get even sponsors. You get scholarship. Trust me, we have everything there. Just download the app and then join us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Emmanuel, yeah, kindly, you two, you have only 1 minute. 1 minute to do your vote of thanks, and that will be all.
All right, so good afternoon. We are here, we are the organizers of the Media Students Summit. Personally, I am not a media person. I remember when we were discussing this project, when the concept came. I am an event organizer, I am a health promotion officer by profession, and I do event organizing as a side job. I remember when the time came and we were discussing the concept of this program. My brother and my brothers and sisters here, we discussed it. I am extremely happy about the people that have remained with us till this point. Believe you me, I'm a media person, but believe you me, in fact, I am enthused to go into the media. You get it? Mami kind, Obi kind, Sir Raymond kind. Sabri ye wahadi obi ada. Debi aye taika programs bi say de ehun hia oba what ha as a wo heaven. Upie said de Sir Raymond kind upie na ewiade hyewa no wo say we nipa. Believe you me, eye den a wo anya bibi enda obi a wada no anya. I'm extremely happy for those of us that are not here, but I am critically happy for those of us that have remained up to this point. At least we have heard something, at least we've been inspired, and I am extremely happy about those of us here, because at least we have made an impact in one person's life today. Thank you very much.
So, before we go, on behalf of the entire organizing team, let me be ACCRA. Let me first say a very big thank you to the General Secretary of my SRC, and then Treasurer Agnes Opoku-Agyeman and Linda, to my External Affairs Secretary, I am glad I brought one of your mentors. Midi Nanaya Kunedu. Thank you very much. And to Papa Kumsen, Cornelius, everybody, I want to say thank you for all the effort and the sacrifices. Senior, Yamin Shrawan. I remember 2 weeks ago when I called Senior Philip and his line wasn't going through. Ibadinti Adi Obi is one of my biggest cats. He's one of my mentors. Am I going to get him? Today, this has happened. Senior, thank you very much. We cannot pay you. We cannot give you anything. In fact, but the things you've shared, if not for anything, you have imparted lives today. We are extremely grateful. We are extremely grateful. I am very confident that the next time we call you, you will listen to us. Although we didn't get the numbers. And let me say thank you to all the people that promised us 100 students. We are live on TV. Enoch, thank you very much. Promised me 100 people. I call him, he's not picking. And then we call him, he's like, oh, Presto, management have organized a program on our campus. So we call a student in the school, Bibi Ankoso. All of them, it's making us better. We're going to be better tomorrow. We want to say a very big thank you for time, the insightful lessons. Mr. Stephen Opoku, my president, Association of Journalism Students, thank you. Thank you very much for having us. Thank you very much for gracing this.
All right, thank you very much. It's not easy to organize programs, eh? Yeah, so thank you all the schools that made it. IBM Day. Yeah, with us, you are still here. Classic Multimedia Institute. Okay, the HCC students who are around. All right, good, thank you. Now, so this has been a very insightful program, and we are very grateful. Truth TV is a TV station that is owned by this university. It's just at the entrance there. You see it, you see Nemo Media Center, and then at the back you see Truth TV. Since you're a media student, you may love to just have a look at what we have there. It's a new building, and so there is still some finishing touches that we are doing to get in there. We've been on air since 2020. We are on multi-TV. So if you go, you can search for Truth TV or multi-TV, and you can watch us. And as Sir Raymond said, there are opportunities in sales. Nobody has ever applied here to be a salesperson. So there are opportunities. I've been looking for marketers every now and then. I'm sending out adverts, but people say there is no job. So you too have an opportunity to be a marketer at Truth TV. And there are juicy commissions up to, 50% for you to bring business. When you bring business, you can get up to 50% commission on whatever business that you bring to the station. And so that's a great opportunity for you. And then I also have attachment opportunities for you if you are interested in coming to attach with us for month or up to 3 months or whatever it is. We can look at it, and you can learn all the things that are there in the TV. And then also we will be starting a radio station pretty shortly. And we also have a media school HCC Media School, we also train students in journalism and then multimedia technology. You can have short courses in those areas. And the university proper is Heritage Christian College. We are accredited by National Accreditation Board, formerly, now Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. And we offer degrees in business administration, focusing on accounting, HR, marketing, business information technology management, banking and finance, and then also BSc in IT, that's information technology, and then Bachelor of Theology. So those are 4-year degree programs, and the degrees come from KNUST. They are our mentor institution. Our core values are entrepreneurship. We are always interested in every student of ours learning entrepreneurship. Whether you will use it or not, we know that that's the way to go. You must learn some principles of entrepreneurship and be your own boss, one way or the other. All of our inspirers, aside their full-time job that do these media houses, they also have their own jobs. And that's something that you must also learn from. And our university makes it a point. It's compulsory. In fact, we have a center called Center for Entrepreneurship, Philanthropy and Ethics, that encourages this and has a lot of programs for the students. Ethics is also one of our core values, and philanthropy, giving back to the society and training our students to be globally competent. Our admissions are in January, October, and then April. So you can bring a student and you can have 300 cedis commission on every student, Ghanaian student that you bring. 300 Ghana cedis. And if it's a foreign student, it's $100. $100 on every student that you refer. Once the person pays the first fees, then we give you a call, and then you come for your money. And you can do it as a business. Some of the students are doing it to pay their fees. That's all they've done, to pay their fees. So you too is a big-time business for you to bring students to this university. You can go on our website, just Google Heritage Christian College or www.hcuc.edu.gh. There is so much information you can read there. Check us on all social media handles as well, Heritage Christian College, and then see the stuff that we do there. All right, I think that's all for now. My number is, if you want to connect with me or ask any information about the university or the media center, is 020 67 30 38 2. 020 67 30 38 2. It's been a pleasure having all of you here, and I'm very, very glad that this program came on right here. Let's be on our feet and say a closing prayer, and we can leave. Father, thank you very much for this day. Thank you for an opportunity to be here, to have inspiration from our mentors. We ask, Almighty Father, that you be with all of them, help them to acquire more knowledge, more wisdom in their fields, so that they may also inspire those who are coming up. We ask for the students as well, that you help them as well to pick all these nuggets of wisdom, so that they may know how to tread in this media landscape. We are praying that they will succeed in their endeavors, and Lord, will give you glory and honor. For the organizers of the program, we thank them. Lord, may you continue to bless them and help them to have initiatives like this that will help us to connect with people who would lead us where we should go. In Jesus' name do we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. All right, bye-bye for now. Thank you. Oh, photo shoot. Sorry. Our mentors, please come around here. Let's just take some photos with you. And then all the students, we should go outside. Outside is the best. Oh, you want this? Hey, Mo. Okay, so our mentors, please come here, and then let's have a photo with you. All the students, come here. Everybody,
do you have an interest and passion for the media?
The next 1 minute,
you see
everybody come up here.
In the field of journalism and multimedia, but you do not have enough time and funds to pursue courses.
Thank you very much.
Fields. That is why the Heritage
we can do the
Christian
networking
College
after. Let's take the photo now.
Set up to give you an opportunity